physics, and even horticulture and animal science. So horticulture is plant science, essentially. So areas of focus that you can focus on as a food scientist, flavor chemistry is huge. It's something that we focus on at Jamba Juice with smoothies. You want your smoothie to taste really good, so we do a lot of that. You can go into meat science, so if you're really into meat, you can do that. Dairy science is another one, poultry science, nutritional supplements, beverages, which is also what I do. Candy, baking, like the world is your oyster if you're a food scientist. You can pretty much just pick your favorite food and work in that industry, which is really fun. So food science is a whole system. So here we see a loaf of bread being made, and science is involved throughout the whole thing. So from the time the wheat is planted, there's always a scientist involved to make sure the wheat's going to survive, to make sure no bugs or other like diseases or anything get to it. And then you go into the whole processing, and when you're manufacturing bread, it's not the same as making bread at home. So there's always science involved with making sure that when you're making a bread batch that is this large and makes this many loaves of bread, that it turns out the same every time. So we use a lot of science in that of like what yeast to use and like how that interacts with all the other components in the bread and things like that. And then you end up with this amazing loaf of bread that's going to be like nice and light and fluffy and make really great toast and sandwiches and things like that. So for my job specifically for product development, we really translate food from an idea to your plate. So we have our consumer insights, which is part of our marketing team. They go out and talk to our consumers, and then for Jamba Juice, they'll say, hey, what kind of smoothie do you want? And our consumers might say, you know what, I really want a strawberry banana smoothie. That would be really cool. And also if it had some extra protein, we would love that too. So then our consumer insights team finds that need of, okay, we want a strawberry banana smoothie with a lot of protein in it. Then they come to us, the food scientists and product developers, and they say, hey, here's what the consumer wants. Here's all your parameters. It has to have strawberry, it has to have banana, and let's say it has to have 20 grams of protein. So it's an excellent source of protein. And they'll say, okay, go. So that's when we get to have all the fun and go into the test kitchen and try different combinations of strawberry, banana, protein. Maybe it's a soy protein, maybe it's a whey protein. It's always something different. And try to make the best product that we can that kind of ticks all of those boxes. So we have a lot of chemistry that's involved with that. Obviously the flavor has to be correct. It has to blend right. So you have a lot of physical change when you put stuff in a blender, right? Like your banana's not going to be whole anymore, it's going to be crushed up. So how do we optimize our blend cycles to make sure that it crushes all those fruits correctly to make sure your smoothie is smooth and not chunky, because it's called a smoothie for a reason. And then after we do that, we usually show it to several people within our office and say, hey, do you like this? Does this check all the boxes? Sometimes we'll go back to our consumers and say, hey, you wanted a strawberry banana protein smoothie. Try this. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you like? What do you not like? And we'll make other changes like that. And then once we have our final product, we'll send it into our restaurants. It goes on our menu boards, and that's where you guys can go and buy it and try it for yourself. So we use a lot of different sciences, as I said before, but we also use a lot of communication, a lot of business, everything. So it's not just sitting in a test kitchen all day and like staring at something and blending random things together. So we do a lot of things. Here we have, this is actually my boss and one of our operations guys right here, and then one of our blending experts. He works for a blender company. So they're checking actually the consistency of a smoothie right here. So once a smoothie is blended up, we want it to be a certain consistency so that it's not too thin or not too thick. Because if it's too thick, then you can't get it through a straw, and if it's too thin, then it's just like water. So here they're using what we call a consistometer to check the consistency of the smoothie and see where it ends up to make sure that it falls within the right parameters. And then some other cool things that we did. This is a photo from an event we got to do in New York City last year. It was an event called Create and Cultivate. It had a lot of like female bloggers and like influencers and things like that. So we got to do this huge event for them and present some of our new products. And then this is my boss. She was on TV last year. I was not on TV because I am too scared to be on TV, but she got to present a lot about our wheatgrass shots and our ginger shots and why those are so good for you and the benefits that come from those. Here's some cool descriptors about food scientists and product developers. You get to be creative, you get to be inquisitive, you use science every single day. You get to be problem solvers, so like I said, when Consumer Insights says, hey, we want this smoothie that has all these things, sometimes it doesn't always come together the first time, so you kind of have to problem solve your way through that and figure out how to make the best smoothie within the parameters that you're given. We're foodies, we're those crazy people that you go out to eat with, and we always take pictures of our food. It's all over our Instagrams, like it's everywhere. We're always customer focused. We want to put the best product in front of our consumers, and so we always try to keep those people top of mind when we're developing something, because even if we don't like it, we know that somebody out there really, really wants it. And then where to study food science. So I went to A&M, that's why this is the biggest on the screen, because for me that's the most important. But you can go to a whole bunch of other schools around the country to study food science, like Purdue, Kansas State, OSU, Georgia. There's a whole bunch of colleges around the country that have a food science program, so if you're interested in it, find out more about it, see if that's something you want to do. If you really like chemistry and you really like studying that, then it's a good thing to check out. And then food science matters because food matters, so anytime there's food involved, there's always a food scientist that's involved to make sure that it's safe and tastes good. And then kitchen is a laboratory, and everything that happens there has to do with science. So this is a quote from Alton Brown. I don't know if you guys know who that is or care or anything like that, but he's one of the people that got me really interested in food science. He used to have a TV show called Good Eats, and he would teach you how to cook, and he would also teach you the science behind it. So he would teach you how yeast causes bread to rise and things like that. Here's some resources if you're interested. There's our website right here. There's the government MyPlate website. Institute of Food Technologists is kind of our professional organization that we're part of. If you're interested in foods that are non-GMO or what the whole GMO discussion is about, there's a resource here and different things like that. Yeah, do you guys have any questions for me or what I do or food science or anything like that?
How long did you go to school?
So I was in school for 4 years. So I got an undergraduate degree in food science from Texas A&M.
And you said you had a minor in business?
Yes. So I got a minor in business. We had 2 tracks to choose from when I was in school. So you could either go a science track, which we took a lot of chemistry with, or you could go a business track. So I chose the science track so I could get that heavy science involvement and also balanced it out with the business minor.
What have you created at Jamba Juice?
So this is actually my creation for the summer. This is our watermelon chia restore smoothie. It's a layered smoothie. So this bottom part is like watermelon and strawberries and a little bit of Greek yogurt for protein. And then it's topped with our hydrated chia seeds. So those have really good benefits of like fiber and your omega-3s, which are your healthy fats. So it's a good balance, and it kind of tastes like boba tea. Obviously like a lot smaller, but it has that boba-like texture.
You said that you worked at Pizza Hut?
Yes.
What did you do there?
So I worked at Pizza Hut for about 3 years. I worked on their dessert platform, so I got to create their Hershey's triple chocolate brownie, and then their Hershey's hot chocolate brownie, and the Hershey's toasted s'mores cookie. So the toasted s'mores cookie went during the summer, and then the hot chocolate brownie was during the winter, but you can still buy the triple chocolate brownie.
You made that?
I did. And then also, if you buy a pizza at American Airlines Center, I also worked on that project as well. So we created individual sized pizzas that